My name is Rick Smith, and I'm questioning whether or not there's a correlation between overall human life expectancy and the urbanized development of the country in which a person is residing. In this project, I will be using the Corgis dataset Global Development. There is little to no ethical issues with this one, as it gives no information on specific people, but simply specific countries. We first look at the United States, a sort of middle ground as far as urban development across the world. There is a clear positive correlation between the variables here. People in the United States move to live in more urbanized areas, and as they do, life expectancy increases almost 1-for-1. This suggests that further urbanization does mean one can expect to live a longer life, but let's look at some other countries just to be sure. We look next at Uganda, which is generally agreed upon as one of the least urbanized countries in the world. As we can see, again, this country has a mostly positive correlation. The exception is that dip in life expectancy around 12% urban population. This dip occurs during the beginning of wars which were fought in the country by a group of rebels in which children ages 11 to 14 were kidnapped and forced into terrorist groups to fight, according to Smithsonian Magazine. A sharp spike in young deaths would quickly sway the average life expectancy, so it's safe to say that this is the reason for the drop. Overall, urbanization has been beneficial to the life expectancy of the Ugandan people. Finally, we look at Kuwait, which is considered to be one of the most urbanized countries in the world, with almost 98% of its population living in an urban area. Again, we see that increased urban population is beneficial to the citizens' life expectancy. We see a sharp spike in life expectancy when urbanization hits around 98%. I'm unable to explain this spike, however, there is no arguing that there is a positive correlation between these variables in Kuwait as well. In conclusion, I found that it is true that more urbanized countries and places in which a greater population live in urban areas have higher life expectancies. It is worth mentioning that not only did life expectancy always increase with the increase of urban population, but in Uganda, in which urbanization hovers around 10 to 15%, the life expectancy is around 45 to 55, whereas in countries that are far greater urbanized, such as Kuwait in the US, the life expectancy is much higher, around 70 to 75 years old. The positive correlation is clear. Greater urbanization will result in greater life expectancy.